TV trash, our generation will forever be linked to a quartet of giant pizza-eating reptiles that helped bring the word nunchucks into the American vernacular. I'm speaking, of course, of the Ninja Turtles.
We may never know what Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird were smoking when they created these characters, but we're so glad they created them. The Ninja Turtles were a pop culture juggernaut in the 1990s through the comics and movies, but especially the animated TV series, which was a huge hit through syndication and CBS.
And then 1997 came along and brought a new series that completely derailed the franchise for years. This is Ninja Turtles, the next mutation.
Following the end of the first animated series, Eastman and Laird's Mirage Studios partnered up with Saban Entertainment, creators of the Power Rangers, to make a live-action Turtles series. One would think that working with the creators of another popular series would only bring about good results.
Yeah, ask the Sailor Moon fans what they think about Saban.
The pilot opens in China, where this old man, Chung-Yi, fears that something evil is coming out of his mirror.
It's the Jabberwocky! The Red Queen is coming to conquer our world!
Cut to New York, where Leonardo and Raphael are bickering as usual. Raph runs off, gets himself in a jam, and the other turtles go to help in their Humvee. Yeah, forgot to tell us when they traded in the turtle van for a Hummer. Actually, I don't even know if this is an extension of the animated series. In fact, their lair is clearly the abandoned subway from the movies. But it can't be an extension of the movie since the Shredder is still alive here and... Gah! What in the frickin' fuck have they done to you, Shredhead?
We are warriors! Tonight, the mutants will crumble!
Yes, this is how Saban treats Eastman and Laird's most iconic villain.
Maybe we should make an animated Power Rangers series and give Rita even bigger horns and lots of cleavage!
And that's not the only bad costume on this show. The Turtles are basically wearing do-rags for masks, and Splinter, come on! He looks like he belongs on stage at Chuck E. Cheese.
Actually, this is a good example of the biggest problem with making a live-action TV version of the Turtles.
Unless you have the huge budget of a major movie studio, characters like the Turtles and the Shredder will frequently come out goofy looking because you can't give them the detail you can get in animation. This concept works for the Power Rangers because the majority of their show still involves real human characters to balance the goofy monsters. When 90% of the show involves creatures that look like cosplay, it wears down the suspension of disbelief. So Chung-Yi's student tracks down the Turtles and...
I am Shinobi.
Girl Turtle! Thank you!
This is May Pei Ji, who the Turtles named Venus de Milo. Ironic, since so many viewers probably wanted to rip her arms off. It turns out she was also in the same bowl as the other four and exposed to the ooze, but Chung-Yi somehow found her instead of Splinter.
My master, the shaman Chung-Yi, found me in your city's Chinatown swimming in a drainage ditch.
In fact, that's about as much of the Turtles' origin story as we get in this show, which poses a major problem at the start. Any first-timers who don't know their backstory from the beginning are going to be confused automatically. And longtime Turtles fans? Well, they're likely going to be hacked off by everything that's coming next.
None of you are related by blood?
We're Pet Shop Turtles. You and I are just Mutant Boy and Mutant Girl.
Yeah, after it being in canon in every other series that the four of them are brothers, they throw that out the window just so they can have sexual tension with the new girl of the bunch.
Because I so wanted to have elements of the OC added to the Ninja Turtles. Oh wait, no I didn't.
Oh, and if you were wondering about our favorite jumpsuit-wearing journalist, not in this series. No mention of April in any episode. Even the Shredder gets taken out in episode 2 thanks to Venus removing the evil from him with souped-up Jedi mind tricks. thereby establishing her as the badass of this series and eliminating the Turtles' main nemesis so Saban can bring forth their own villains. An ancient race of dragons that were banished from the Earth thousands of years ago and are looking to reclaim the planet. And doing so while dressing like the Shredder and his foot soldiers.
As the old proverb goes, you can put a spiked helmet and pads on a dragon, but he still ain't a Rokusaki!
So, along with a few other villains that I can't say are any stupider than Baxter or the Rat King, most of the season involves the Turtles fighting the Dragon Lord and his mooks, usually with Venus being the one to finish them in the end. And here we see what I believe to be the biggest reason so many Turtles fans hate this show. The four turtles that we grew to love take a backseat to this Chinese chick and her mystic powers.
Now, I don't have a problem with female heroes. I have Buffy, Sailor Moon, and Wonder Woman on DVD. But those kick-ass divas are the stars of their own series, not marching full-time into other shows and derailing the main stars to do it!
Let's take the first episode following the 5-part pilot, where the Dragon Lord gets a magic staff that can use Venus's powers against her. This would be a good time to show that Venus has one weakness, and the Turtles would work as a team to overcome it. Instead, they just stand around while Venus proves she's too powerful for the staff. The last episode was basically a tribute story to Venus, with the Turtles chasing her off and then realizing all the times she saved them, then going off to try and rescue her, only to find out she took out all the Dragon Lord's mooks by herself, establishing that they need her more than she needs them.
You guys took out 2 intergalactic warlords without this girl! Okay, maybe it wasn't in this canon, but I saw it happen!
Along with their own series, the Turtles also made an appearance on an episode of the current Power Rangers series at the time, Power Rangers in Space.
Wow! We're actually seeing a crossover with the 2 biggest superhero teams of the 90s! The favorite icons of 2 back-to-back generations teaming up in an ultimate good versus evil showdown! What's gonna happen?
The Turtles get brainwashed by Astronema and spend much of the episode helping her fight the Rangers.
One moment. You goddamn Savannah SOBs! I watched Power Rangers for 4 years, and you were paying me about trapping over my generation superheroes! You wanna know why so many Turtles fans hate Power Rangers? That's why, you SOBs! You can all burn in hell! So yes, I'm not thrilled.
And a lot of others agreed because this show bombed. The first animated series was on the air for 9 years, but this one only lasted one 26-episode season, and it basically killed the franchise. It took 5 years and a complete reboot to make the Turtles popular again. And while my heart will always be for the first animated series, the current one does have good writing and characterization, and it admittedly is closer to Eastman and Laird's original concept. But this?
Ninja Turtles' next mutation should be called Ninja Turtles Abomination! This show was a stain on the Ninja Turtles franchise!
It was a lame attempt to make the Turtles appear live on TV when no one needed to see them live, and it turned our heroes in a half-shell into butt monkeys so Saban's creations would look cool.
Personally, I can't think of anything else with the Ninja Turtles name on it that could possibly be worse than this! Gah! Okay, I stand corrected! See you next time!